So what actually physically happens to you when you see a spider?
Okay, things go into slow motion. It's a real fear, as if somebody stood there with a knife or a gun or something, a very real fear.
Right.
Need to get away, heart beating, palpitations, just blurriness and just sheer panic, just needing to run and get away.
It got to the point where you were so frightened you couldn't even say the word spider.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It took years to be able to do that, or to even be able to sort of just draw a little one.
And that was because you like self-help?
Yes, absolutely. For years I tried that and got myself a long way with that. Being able to say spider was a big step, but could never actually cope with one, could never deal with one in the house.
It's dangerous as well because you've been in the car, and you've swerved into oncoming traffic when there's been one in the car.
Yeah. It was lucky that was night time, because there was a petrol tanker coming towards me and it had its lights on. If it had been during the day, I really don't think that I would have realised. I just saw the spider and just veered into the other lane.
And you also grabbed somebody outside, didn't you, to go into your house, because your husband works nights?
Yeah, I ran out of the house in my nightdress. I must have looked like a complete lunatic. And stopped a complete stranger in a car and dragged him in to get the spider for me. Oh.
You say we're never born. The only things we're frightened of are loud noises and falling.
That's right.
That's what we're born with.
No one's born with the phobia.
And so, but it can be passed on, and that's what seems to have happened
Yeah,
here.
I mean, it's learned behaviour, and as Donna said, that she had a nightmare actually. She woke up, she came downstairs and saw a nan screaming, and she looked at what a nan was screaming, why she was screaming, and she saw the spider. And in that moment, she creates the schema and the learning that the spider caused the screaming, caused the nightmare, and it goes from there.
Right.
But it's been 50 years, and it's 50 years of adapting your life, really,
Absolutely.
hasn't it?
Yeah, checking clothes before I put them on, being afraid to sit on the floor, and then everywhere I've seen a spider, reliving that.
Yeah.
You know, looking on that wall and still seeing them.
Didn't you make your husband take up the whole stair carpet?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And when Kev's on nights, I go to bed, coming from work, I know it sounds ridiculous, I'm sorry, coming from work, and rather doing things that I'd want to be doing, I go to bed, wrap myself in a sheet, turn the lights off, because if I see a spider, I'm stuck in a house in the middle of the country on my own.
Well, I've got to say that I live with this on a daily basis at home.
Right,
My wife is
okay.
exactly, we've talked about this, because one day she's going to come and see you. She's absolutely terrified. She's passed it on, in part, to my two daughters. They're scared of spiders now. And I went out to work, and she saw a spider in the bathroom, jumped, fully clothed, jumped into a dry bath, an empty bath, and she sat there until I came home.
Absolutely.
She was in there for hours.
I know somebody she needs to see.
Yeah, precisely.
But you've tried really hard not to pass it on to your own son, haven't you?
My son didn't know till he was quite old and didn't have a fear of spiders that I was frightened. I was determined not to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
That's one useful thing I could, pass on to him.
Well, before the show, Nick and Eva tested how extreme Donna's phobia is, and this is how that went.
Donna, your fear of spiders, can you